Hey there, writer rebels. It's me, Scarlett Kol, and I'm here to do the Authortube Newbie Tag today from Jenna Streety. All right, so I'm here on a special day to do the Authortube Newbie Tag. Like I told people in my last video, my content videos will be coming out on Thursdays, but I did want to get this up and running, and I didn't want to do it as a separate weekly video because I do want to get into all of those wonderful writing conversations that I'm planning to have with you. Anyway, if you have been following Newbie Tags, you already know what this is. If you do not follow Newbie Tags, basically it's a list of questions to introduce myself and my channel and my content to anyone out there. So hopefully you will hang out. I am doing the 2.0 version. There are several questions, but I think they're really great. So hopefully we can just dive right into them. I do apologize. I will be looking down at my computer because it is a really long list and I couldn't memorize them all. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. So this is basically like my YouTube debutante ball. So hopefully you will stick around and join me for that. Okay, so let's start right in on question 1. So that is, what is your book's pitch? If you have more than one book, choose your favorite. So I think I'm going to go with Mercury Rises because that was my debut novel and it definitely holds a special place in my heart. So here goes. Mercury Rises is a biopunk retelling of Robin Hood from the point of view of a feisty 17-year-old Maid Marian. It is great for fans of fairy tales, the Selection series by Kiera Cass, but with a Blair Waldorf Gossip Girl cherry on top. So if that's your thing, you can always check out Mercury Rises. Otherwise, you know, that's my pitch. Okay, number 2. If you were a book, how would you pitch yourself? Horror, maybe? Well, okay. So I did write this one down. I did cheat, I'm not gonna lie. In the cold Canadian wilderness, Scarlett Kol battles with her misuse of commas and fights to keep ahead of her deadlines. But with her quick wit and imagination, nothing is ever quite what it seems, and who knows what nonsense might come out of her mouth next. Okay. What do you usually write? I am a young adult author, so obviously I write in the young adult category. My first book was a dystopian-ish biopunk novel. I also write paranormal, and I also do fairy tale retellings. Robin Hood was retelling, but it's kind of a legend, so I do those, and I do plan on doing more in that area, so I will have more paranormal and fairy tales coming out this year. Okay. What is something you will never write? I think probably historical romance, probably like more that Regency, the Duke, the Marquis, or all that kind of, the Duke Who Saved Me and all that kind of stuff. Not that I have a problem with those, I don't read it. It's not something I particularly get into. I have tried, I have had friends recommend their favorites, but it's just not a genre that I'm really interested in, so I don't think I would ever write it. Okay, what is your goal for starting an Authortube channel? My goal for starting an Authortube channel is just basically, if you know me or get to know me, I really like to talk, and I like to talk about writing, and I like to talk about books, and they always tell you if you're going to do a social media platform to pick something that that you enjoy and that you're good at, and I really like to talk. So I think this is why I want to do Authortube, and I also really want to start engaging with more of the writing community. I do live in Canada, so I don't quite get out to as many conferences and meetups and meetings and things that I would like. So there's a limited outlet, I guess, to be able to talk about writing. So I'm hoping that I can start building community on this channel, like YouTube channel as a social media channel, and start, you know, building a community that way. Okay, what made you want to start writing? I don't think it was really that I wanted to start writing, I just did. I was always writing ever since I was a kid. I used to write really lousy poetry. As a teenager, I wrote short stories. I wrote my first novella at 16. It was a broody vampire romance. Clearly I should have, you know, tried to market that. Maybe I would be in a different place today. Anyway, I loved doing that sort of stuff. I always wrote short stories. When I went away to university, I still wrote some like really angsty love poem-y kind of stuff. And then basically I got a couple of degrees. I built a house, I got married, I had kids, I did all that kind of stuff. And when I'm sitting there with this newborn, and I just hit this wall of like, okay, I don't have anything I have to study, and I have anything I could possibly ever want right now. I know that sounds awful, but like, you know what I mean? Just you build up all these milestones in your head, and then once you hit them, it's like, okay, now what? And I'd also been starting to go through interviews with jobs and stuff, and people are like, what do you like to do for fun? And I'm like, I can't answer this question because I've been so focused on all of these other things that I kind of felt really lost, kind of away from myself. So first off, my oldest son is a really lousy sleeper. So I spent a lot of middle of the nights kind of in that lucid, half awake kind of state. And I really just wanted to find something to find myself again. And one of the things I'd always loved was writing. So I did get back into that, and I started writing this like really like Oprah's book club, super heavy novel. And it just kind of wasn't for me. And then I started back into writing, you know, that young adult paranormal, which was what, like, I was the exact same age as Buffy when that show came on the air, and I grew up with her, and I read Anne Rice at 13, which was totally inappropriate, and Christopher Pike and all that kind of stuff. And that was the things that I wanted to write. And when I started doing that, I really just like felt myself a little bit more fulfilled, and a little bit more rounded out as a person, not just, like I was a mother, and I was an employee, and I was a wife, and I was all these sorts of things, but I was having this problem of, who was I anymore? And getting back to that writing was a huge cathartic thing for me. I didn't know if I was ever going to do anything with it, or if it was just going to be something that I did for fun. But eventually I did end up going the publishing route. So long-winded answer, sorry about that. Okay, so next question. What's your publishing path? So my publishing path right now, I started out with small press. My first 2 books were released by 2 different presses, Inkspell Publishing and Ever19. And then my Faraway High series is actually self-published, but it had started out with another press. I got involved with some box sets, so I released 2 books in 2 fairy tale retelling box sets, but they were both related to my own series. So once those box sets came down, I released those books independently on my own. And then going forward, I'm open. It depends on the project. Obviously, my Faraway series is going to stay with me. I have been, taking some courses and learning more about self-publishing, and just really kind of jumping into that realm. So I think I'll be doing more there. I might submit more things to a small press, and I do have another project that I think if I ever finish it, that I might try to go the full like Big 5 trad path with it and see what happens. So. Okay. What content do you bring to the Authortube table? Like I said, I like to talk about books. I like to talk about writing. I like to talk about my process. So obviously some of that stuff is just going to be, that author day in the life kind of thing. Like I said, I do have small press experience. I also have self-publishing experience, so I'll be able to talk about both of those things. I do have, I come from obviously a young adult writing background, so I will have things on that kind of slant. I would like to start producing content that people are interested in. So if anybody does have anything that they would like to know more about, please include that in the comments below, and I will try and get that into my schedule. But for right now, it's just basically, those things that I've experienced and those things that I can propose to other people. I also don't know the answers to everything, so maybe some of my content is just going to be questions and starting conversations and getting those discussions out there. So hopefully that's something that people are interested in, and if they are, they can subscribe to my channel. Okay. What is your biggest writing struggle? Commas. Other than commas, because there are ways to fix them. I think my biggest writing struggle is writing consistently. I do work full time like a lot of authors do. So I just have a hard time sometimes just sitting down on a consistent basis. I'm not somebody who believes that you need to write every day, but I do believe that the feast or famine writing experience that I have going on right now is just really not sustainable. And I would like to be writing more consistently. That way I can, you know, stick into my projects a little bit more and, you know, have a better idea to be able to plan out a little better of where my releases are going to happen. I will hit my deadlines at least the best that I can. But you know, it's a lot easier, obviously, if you're doing this on a more consistent basis. So I'm constantly trying to learn better ways to plan and get myself into a better program. Okay, what's your best writing skill? Okay, one of the things that people like to tell me that I'm good at is I am the queen of slow burn romance. Everything that I write, I may not write romance novels per se, but everything I write does have some sort of romance in it because I just really like writing kissing scenes. One of the things that I do is I am the queen of the slow burn and the miss kiss and all that kind of stuff. I absolutely love the tension that stuff builds. Plus, you know, when you're roping it in with so many other things going on, the romance isn't the central part of the plot, then, you know, you have a little bit more room to play with those things and drag those out and create that tension. And I love doing that. I would really like to write something that's a little bit more insta-love, just to kind of see the difference. But every time I seem to get into a project, even if that's what I want to do, I always tend to go back to that slow burn, pining kind of thing. I just love it. I love to read it. I love to write it. And I've had some people recognize that that's kind of my jam, and that's the sort of thing that I bring to the table. So choose between questions 11 and 12. Okay, number 12. If you're new to Authortube, what is your biggest Authortube question? My biggest Authortube question, I guess, is just sort of, you know, how to engage with my audience more. I would really like to, like I said, I'm providing some sort of writing advice. I want to start discussions. I want to start conversations. I want to know about other people's processes. I want to be able to tell them about mine. So, you know, but if nobody's watching my videos and no one's commenting, then I'm basically talking to myself, which I do anyway, but it seems a little bit more frightening on a actual platform. So, you know, just how to grow my audience and engage with people and get them watching my videos and get them commenting and get them interested in what I'm doing and telling me what kind of content they want, because I do want to give them, you know, what they're interested in. There's no point in me just talking about things that I'm interested in if nobody else is interested in them, right? Okay. So if anybody's got any hints, they can definitely put them in the comments or send me an email or something like that, because I would love to hear from you. Okay, 13. Are you looking for any new channels to follow, betas, critique partners, or any other types of writing buddies? If so, tell us what you're looking for and connect with them in the comments. Okay, I do follow quite a few channels, actually. I have a lot of favorites. I love Heart Breathings with Sarah Cannon. I watch Alexa Dunn. I watch Abby Emmons, Brianna Morgan, Bethany Atazada, Kim Chance. Like, there's a lot of ones that I am watching, but I am interested in, you know, checking out newer channels, or if somebody's doing something really different. Obviously, anybody who's kind of in that young adult space, I'm obviously interested in. So I'm not actively looking for new channels, but they seem to keep cropping up and I seem to keep watching them. So if you did include one below, I'm sure I'd check it out. In terms of betas and critique partners, not so much of the critique partners. I do have a few that I have already, but I do know that I am going to be opening for betas and probably some ARC readers coming towards the end of the year. I'm not quite ready for that yet, but once I am, I will definitely put a shout out on my other social media and in my YouTube videos, as well as in my comments when I do open that up. I don't like to have a ton of beta readers, and I do have a couple of people who've already said they're interested, so it may just be ARC readers that I'd be open for, but yeah, I would definitely be interested in interacting with people, and if somebody wants to include their name to be remembered for later, then I would totally do that. Okay, and number 14, I think this is the last question. It is. Okay. What are you most excited for during this new fresh start on Authortube? I am most excited about the fact that I finally did this. I have been you know, considering an Authortube channel since about March of last year. I actually filmed footage at a writing retreat I went to last year. I filmed footage at conventions that I went to, and then subsequently deleted all of that stuff because I was too scared to get behind the or get in front of the camera and, you know, get out there and say what I wanted to say. I was always doubting myself, not thinking that I could do this, but yeah, here I am. And I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'm just super excited that I'm finally taking that step and taking that leap of getting out there. I'm also really, really excited to see where it goes, and also to see where my content goes. You know, I have plans, I have videos that I plan to do all written down, I have content coming out, but you know, who knows what kind of area I'm going to get into. I'm interested to see what kind of personality I am. I think I know what I am, but when you start to watch other Authortube videos, you know, certain people kind of have certain personality traits, or they produce certain types of videos, and you know you can turn to them for that kind of content. And I'm just really interested to see what I become, and you know, does that match up with what I think I am and what I think I'm bringing to the table. So yeah, it's an exciting experience. So yeah, so that is all the questions. If you are interested in the Author Newbie Tag, if you do want to hang out with me some more, you can hit subscribe and the notification bell if you want to get an email when I release more videos. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I do typically release on Thursdays, but I will on occasion put out additional videos like this one if there's something that I really want to say or I want to get out there. I know that I'm going to have a special one in April on book retellings. I'm kind of going to do a combo thing where I'm going to talk about retellings in terms of an author and my books itself for this collaboration project. And then that following Thursday, I'm actually going to do a video on tips on how to do retellings as an author. So that should be really, really fun. And yeah, so if you have any comments for things that you want to hear, check them out below. If you have any comments for any of the questions that I answered, comment on it below. If you just want to interact, say hi, welcome to the neighborhood, totally do that. But yeah, I'm Scarlett Kol. I'm a young adult author, storyteller, bookworm, and now I'm a YouTuber, AuthorTuber. And thanks for watching my channel. Bye.